Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold, a mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Shine bright up all night, we're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes, we're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. On the day we are together again. On the day we are together again. I will pull you in close like a hoop with no end. On the day we are together again. We will share the same table again. We will share the same table again. I will pass you the salt, the candlelight will bend when we share the same table again. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will walk around the block hand in hand. We will stop for a snack at the taco truck stand when we walk around the block hand in hand. Someday we will go back to work. Someday we will go back to work. May we be among people who respect our work. Someday we will the healers who keep us alive, and the ones we love who are gone, and the ones we love who are gone. We remember the stories, and we sing the songs for the ones we love who are gone. And on the day we are together.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Is that true? Lips confirmed it? Is that true? This happened so long ago. My memory is shot. Who is Allison? Allison is. I emailed you through Facebook. Allison is not connected with the Lacey Scott Peterson case. It's totally different. Um, Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. That's weird. I can't find it right now. Yes, Cassie. Okay. Hold on, let me fix this. I see you. Can you confirm that for me? Thank you. Hold on. Thing here. It is on her sister's Facebook. Wow. That is really, really shocking. She apparently did a few days ago and was kept on life support for organs. I don't see her being an organ donor. That's the thing, though. I don't see her being an organ donor. Thank you, Esme. Thank you, everyone. Do you see her being an organ donor? Because I don't really see her being an organ donor. And it's nothing. I mean, it was Allie. She was a smoker. She wasn't in the best health. She had aneurysms and she had infection. Um, Maybe your corneas. They may have done skin grafts. Um, Now, like a lot of there's a lot of skin grafts that they'll do a lot of times from organ donors and stuff like that. I would think so, but who am I? Yeah, some things she can still donate. Yeah, her father. I mean, she may even. It just depends what kind of medicine they gave her and stuff too. Her father is Randy Clark, and he says she passed a few days ago. But the thing is, did she? Wow, I was not expecting this. Yeah, it does depends on what organ she is donating. I'm getting some messages. All right, I'm going to show y'all what we got here. I'll show you all. Okay. Let me go to my email real quick. All right, so this is what they posted just a little bit ago. "41 minutes. Allison Harris, fly high, my big sister. I love you, and we're all going to miss you. You were loved a lot by everyone. It is uh so soon for you to go. I love you and miss you, and you will be in my heart." Oh, y'all, that's really sad. That is really, really sad, isn't it? I wasn't expecting, really wasn't expecting that. Huh. They keep, yeah, they will keep you alive for like the donations and all that. Yeah. If she has passed, my condolences. Is Andrew still talking with H? Hopefully he will straighten up, meaning Andrew, and be there for his son. I know she's only in her 30s. Oh, absolutely he does, JD. Absolutely. So, got me stumped. I apologize. The beginning of this live kind of took a turn. This is a lady who is affiliated with the Summer Wells case. Her son is Hunter, who was with Candace, Grandis, and Summer on the day that Summer Wells went missing over 2.5 years ago. No, Hunter wants nothing to do with Andrew. I can see why. Jam. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's just the truth. But they said she passed away a few days ago. I mean, they did a good job of, keeping it quiet. That's that's a good thing. What's the weather like here? It's like 2 feet of snow, cold and dark. That's what the weather's like here. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. That's not true, I believe, Justin. What's not true, Roxy? Elip blog. Thank you, Mystic. Okay. She did pass a few days ago. That's probably when H said she was gone. Probably. David says he killed his wife and then girlfriend. He's not getting out. I hope he doesn't. He didn't kill his girlfriend, but he killed his wife. Yeah, there's been a lot. There's been a lot. I played the fifth. There has been a lot. So today's going to be 20 below. Tomorrow morning, another inch of snow. Well, was supposed to get another. I think we were supposed to get another foot or something from last night till tomorrow morning. And there's that. So rest in peace, Allie. So I do want to talk about Scott Peterson as well. If you guys find out any other information about Allie, please let me know. So Scott Peterson, as you guys remember, just what was it, last year, the year before last, he was trying to get a new trial, and it didn't work, but now he has the Innocence LA Innocent Project takes Scott Peterson's case, says new evidence supports the claims he didn't unalive his wife. Now, I completely disagree with them on that for sure. Heather, it seems like they have been trying to get this man out of jail since what, 2003 or what, 2004, whenever he went to jail. This happened in 2002. Some of y'all might not even remember it. A lot of us do. I abso-freaking-lutely believe he did this. This just broke a little bit ago. By the way, um, you know, Alec Baldwin, who was trying to, they had dropped the charges or whatever. He was just indicted about 4 hours ago on involuntary manslaughter charge. So they are going back again after Alec Baldwin as well. Yeah. Yeah. This was a huge case back in the day. It was so huge. This is when you had Nancy Grace on there, bombshell tonight. That's what she would always say. Just heard Allie passed, her sister posted on her Facebook page. Yeah, Candy, we just read that just a moment ago. I always thought he was innocent. If he is, hopefully that they will figure it out. See, I don't think he's innocent whatsoever, personally, like at all. I think he had, m- uh, I think he had such a motive to unalive Lacey. I just absolutely do. He had a girlfriend, a baby, and all of that. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. Okay, so here we are. Now they're saying Scott Peterson's conviction. It was 2002. Okay, I was right. Murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson, and their unborn son is now being investigated by the Los Angeles Innocent Project, the nonprofit organization known for their work for to exonerate wrongly convicted and incarcerated individuals. Told People in a statement that they represent Scott now and are, quote, investigating his claim of actual innocence, end quote. Lacey Peterson, 27 years old. She was only 27 years old. Yep, I agree, Mystic. I agree. Anyway, Lacey Peterson, 27, was 8 months pregnant with their son Connor when she vanished on Christmas Eve in 2002, just 5 years after she and Scott had married. While Scott initially helped look for her, it soon came out that he had been having an affair and he was made the prime suspect. 4 months later, Lacey's body was found in San Francisco Bay, just a mile away from where her unborn baby was found. He was found washed up on a beach by a couple walking. God bless him. Scott, who is now 51, he's 51 years now, was convicted of 2 counts, first-degree unaliving in 2004, and he was sentenced to death row in 2005. He remained there for about 15 years. But in 2020, Scott scored 2 major legal victories in 2020. The first victory was in August that he was given a chance to face a new penalty phase trial after his death penalty sentence was overturned by California Supreme Court, who cited jury selection errors by the trial judge. They'll always find a technicality, it's for sure. The second victory came in October when California Supreme Court ruled that a lower court should take a second look at his case to determine whether his guilty verdict should be overturned. Look how beautiful Lacey is. Just absolute beautiful, beautiful. And in court in 2021, Scott's death sentence was officially vacated, resentencing him to life in prison. The following year, a San Mateo County Superior Court judge denied Peterson's bid for a new trial. Thank God. Now, the LA Innocent Project is seeking new evidence in Scott's original trial, saying that the Peterson state and federal constitutional rights were violated, according to ABC News. This was a picture of Scott, his prison pick in 2020. Yes. And I do fear that this guy's going to walk one day. I just fear it. I know it, feel like it's coming. It's like they're taking just chips off the old block, slowly. And I don't know. Filings entered on Wednesday and first obtained by the outlet say that, quote, new evidence now supports Mr. Peterson's long-standing claim of innocence and raises many questions into who abducted and killed Lacey and Connor Peterson, end quote. Attorneys for the organizations are quoting updated witness statements which pointed to multiple areas of interest, including a December 2002 burglary of the hold on, where was that? Modesto, rather, home across the street of the Petersons. Scott's attorney have previously argued his wife was unalived after she witnessed the men breaking into the neighbor's house during a dog walk while Scott was on the solo fishing trip Christmas Eve morning. I don't think, in my opinion, that is enough to absolutely unalive someone. Uh, Burglars usually flee, not, want to unalive someone next door because they saw you burglarize it. Uh, the LA Innocent Projects are also hoping to conduct new DNA testing on a bloodstained mattress found on Christmas Day in a burned out orange van discovered nearby. The investigation, they say, will determine if the item contained Lacey's blood, which could be argued links back to the burglars. Other evidence being sought is the LA Innocent Projects, according to the filings by ABC News, includes dozens of items unable to be found after a thorough search of trial files for his prior counsel. Scott has always claimed his innocence and has supported his efforts for freedom. There is no forensic evidence. There is no timeline to the crime, his sister-in-law, Janie Peterson, said in 2021. That is right. There are people that is uh in his family that is helping him, try to fight this. They still believe in him. Um, Never mind that he was found on a boat, you know, fishing, uh, right in the area. We are very excited to have an incredible attorneys at the LA Innocent Project lend their considerable expertise in helping prove Scott's innocence. Now, I found this old and rare interview of Scott, and it's very interesting if you ask me. Look how this man, Scott, look
That's
how he
been
talks.
absolutely terrible, as it is for everyone. I mean, you see us in press conference. You haven't seen me as much in the media, but you see our families and the raw emotion that's out there and the grief.
Yes.
Um,
That's true. That's true, Heather. You remember the blonde Scott Peterson after all this happened? You know nothing about this case? Canadian, well, this was a huge, huge case in 2002. But look at how he talks. He talks like someone that's almost sick or something. It's very monotone. It's just very monotone. Very, very sad.
the frustration. We go through a range of emotions from anger to frustration to grief. For me, it's it comes at different times during the day. 2 weeks ago, I knew exactly what to do. I'd go to the volunteer center at the Red Lion and open up the center and wait for the volunteers to come and work on things.
Hear
And
him
then I'd go
talk.
out and put up flyers. I knew exactly what to do, and that was going to bring Lacey home.
So scripted.
And now I don't know
Every word.
exactly what to do, and that's so frustrating. That's the hardest part. I mean, we have a core group of volunteers still working to get her picture out there nationally through corporations and organizations and obviously media and other means. So we continue to work.
There is nothing. He has no animation in his face. He has no animation in his voice. His voice doesn't, there's no high pitches, low pitches. Everything is neutral. Generic.
Tirelessly, many people do, to bring her home. And we can do that during the day. And unfortunately, at night, don't know what to do. And the grief hits and it's unbearable. But you also have to recognize that Lacey is hurting worse than any of us. She's the one that's not with our family. She's the one that we need to find and bring home.
I know you have
So
moments.
that gives you focus. It gives you, there are times when you just can't continue and if you're driving, you have to pull over and stop. And if you're doing something, you just can't continue. Try to stay busy and have a task, to know what to do, a positive task, and try to focus on that.
I know that there are certain areas you can't go to. It's hard to go to the park.
It's hard to go to. It's important though, because in the mornings when down there alone, I feel closer to her. Maybe that's a attempt to communicate or something. But yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
you mentioned
I go down to the park and it's a way to help communicate with her or something. He's so full of
right
shit.
off the start that you haven't been in the media.
No.
Why?
It was The first 3
Why are you saying that about Andrew? Mystic. Why are you saying that about Andrew? No. No, he's not. He said something about Betty one time like that too, or something. No. Here, I'll text Andrew.
days or so, when she disappeared, it was an absolute privacy issue. Not showing the grief of our family, not exploiting that. After that, it was a conscious decision to remain out of the media eye, decided upon by everyone in the family and the volunteers, in order to, and I'm sorry to say it to media, but to keep the media here, to keep them hungry for, an interview with me or a picture, so that they would keep coming back, so this story won't fall through the cracks as it has happened with other missing people, with other abductions. And it's up to the family to keep that going. So we made that conscious decision together that I wouldn't speak. Obviously, we did lots of media with the rest of the family. And to keep them here, I didn't. But unfortunately now, the suspicions of me have grown so great due to people, wondering what happened to the inappropriate relationship that I had with Amber Fry, that it's necessary to speak. It's appropriate time to, in order to ask people to keep looking for Lacey, because they're not looking for Lacey as much as they should be right now.
Let's talk about some of those suspicions.
I know, Cher, it's
because
crazy,
there are
isn't
a
it?
lot of suspicions out there. I think people want to know, first of all, why would you
Definitely.
leave Lacey, who's 8.5 months pregnant, alone
All right,
to go fishing on
Have a
Christmas
good day,
Eve?
honey.
Okay. Our day was planned for Christmas Eve dinner
Listen to
at
this.
our mom's house. Preparations were all made, gifts done. Lacey was simply going to be baking that day, and it's not uncommon for us to simply we have separate pursuits. She does not play golf as I do, which was my other option for that day. And being 7.5 months pregnant, she's not going to want to go out in a boat. But it's simply a
Look.
leisure activity to.
Yeah, Scott went golfing and goes out in a boat. It just so happens. She was found in the water, right?
Pursue that day, and was what our plans were.
Born at night, but not
it may
last
not be
night.
everyone's choice to do things like that, but it's the way that our relationship works.
I know when I approached you on Amber Fry, and I told you that I would be reporting that you had a girlfriend,
Right.
Your response to me is that you had no comment either way. Why didn't you just come clean then?
I'm glad you asked the question.
I bet you are glad he asked. Yeah,
it simply
whatever.
wasn't appropriate to comment on it. And unfortunately, there has been a statement in the press that I denied it, which was made with another reporter when I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies. And I did so without reading the article, unfortunately. The article I thought to include,
Scott.
I know, also included a supposed life insurance policy, supposed blood evidence, and I forget what else, but also included the report of Amber. So I called it a pack of lies, not knowing that she was in there. So it's just not important to comment about that. I'm glad that Amber came forward. You want me to turn that off?
Yeah, what is that?
That's my phone, unfortunately. I thought it was off. And I'll just answer that question again.
Look at there. She's calling.
somewhere here.
She keeps calling.
Yeah, it's kind of going crazy, isn't
That's
it?
Amber calling right there.
Ah. Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, so if you just want to ask your question again, I'll just...
Okay. So once again, if you can just talk about why didn't you just come forward at the time when I asked you if you had a girlfriend? Why didn't you just come clean then?
Right. At that time, it wasn't appropriate to comment about because it's not relevant. I'm glad
You having a
asked it
girlfriend
because
and your wife is
there were
dead and your
reports that
child
I
is
denied
relevant,
it.
sir.
When I characterized a National Enquirer article as a pack of lies that included, unknowing to me, I knew that the article included this supposed life insurance policy bought this summer, supposed blood evidence, and other strange reports like taking the floors out of our home. And I didn't know it included, this relationship that I had. So I characterized it as a pack of lies, and that's come out as a denial, it was never intended to be. I simply approached that issue as it's not relevant, and
It is
there's
relevant.
no reason to
Total
comment about
relevant.
it. There's reason to comment about the number. Now I'm glad that Amber did the press conference. I'm glad that she came forward because it allows lots of people, I believe, to start looking for Lacey again because it's slacked off because of that. Because
That's
there's
exactly
suspicion
right.
about
That
me.
was the
She claims
motive.
you deceived her.
He's saying it's not
She
relevant.
claimed-
Well,
Yeah.
Yes, she
claims
did
that
not
you-
know. She did not know that I was married. That is correct. And so I'm glad she came forward. I informed her that I am married, and of Lacey's disappearance shortly after, Christmas Eve. It was a couple of days after Christmas Eve. I don't know the exact date. I'm glad she did the press conference. I'm glad that's out there. It had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance.
Your stomach must have been turning though when you see her go on television and it's national. And here's this girl saying, he lied to me. He told me he was single.
Sure.
I mean, your stomach must have been turning.
You know what is a positive?
yeah. Scott Lies said, "Oh, I'm single bachelor." But he's got, he's got a wife, and he's got a wife that's 7 months pregnant, and she ends up dead. And he goes fishing, and she's found in the water, and the baby's found up washed on the side of the beach. And you're saying that's not relevant, Scott? In what universe? What universe? That is huge motive to unalive your wife. You wanted Amber Fry. The thing that I wished was he would have fried, but they took that off the table.
To allow us to go on to search for Lacey. That's how I view it, and that's how I felt about it.
The Rocha family
I said, "Good,
says,
this will be done. We can keep looking for Lacey."
now Lacey's family says they can no longer trust you.
Mm-hmm. It
What are
was
your thoughts on that?
unfair and inappropriate for me to have that relationship.
How do you feel
And
though that the Rocha family says they can't
They're
trust you?
they're wonderful people, the Rocha family. I know that we all have love between us, and I know that we'll all keep searching for Lacey. And I told Lacey about the relationship. She knew about it, and it's important between us. And we'll continue to search for her. We'll bring her home.
That's
That's
another
all I know
problem
to
people
say.
had a big issue with. A lot of Lacey's family talked to me and friends saying, if Lacey knew that you were having an affair, she would have said something to someone. She wouldn't have kept quiet about it.
I don't know if she mentioned it to anyone or not. I did see a report in the news, an interview with a friend of ours, Lori, that indicated that she did not believe that I had told Lacey. Lori also said, I know Scott, and he had nothing to do with her disappearance. And that statement to me is what's relevant. because you can, okay, question my morals and my poor decision making. That's fine, but don't
Well, obviously you
stop
did
looking
it.
for Lacey.
It's
She's
pretty
out there
obvious.
somewhere. She shouldn't be. She should be with our family.
You mentioned
He knows at this point his wife is somewhere floating in salt water, and his wife is literally cut on, and the baby is found on the side, or washed up in an ocean, or washed up by the ocean.
So let's keep working to bring her
I
home.
know that you mentioned during the network interview that only you and Lacey know your marriage.
That's correct.
Explain that.
Just as anyone's intimate relationships, it's it's between those two people. And yes, you share things with people, and some things
The other
you don't share
person's
with people.
dead, Scott.
Did Lacey find out about the affair, or did you just come out and tell her?
No, I informed her about it.
You
I don't
just-
believe she knew.
Why come out? I mean, what made you say, I'm going to tell her today? What made that day the day to tell her?
Just because it was the right thing to do. And as you know, when
It's kind of like the Chris Watts saying, we had an emotional conversation. Yes, in the San Francisco Bay. We had an emotional conversation before, her and, the two kids were found in an oil barrel, and she was buried outside. So fake. Yes, exactly.
you're not doing the right thing, it just, eats you up. You feel, sick to your stomach. And
You don't feel
can't,
nothing.
function, and you have a hard time, looking at someone.
Right. You mentioned it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding is that after you told Lacey, you continued to see Amber. Was that also the
I
right
saw
thing to
her.
do?
Yeah. No, it was not.
Explain that.
That is the explanation. It was not the right thing to do.
But you continued to do it.
Right, and it was not the right thing to do.
And then even after Lacey went missing, you continued to romance this girl?
No.
Yes, you
She
did.
claims that you called her on the 24th and told her.
I informed Amber about Lacey's disappearance and the fact that I was married.
On the 24th?
No, not on the 24th. I believe it was probably it was a few days after.
She says that you called her on the 24th, December 24th, and told her you were with your parents in Maine.
There's people
Okay.
trying to get him out of prison right now.
I called her and informed her about Lacey's disappearance.
On the 24th of December?
No, I did not. It was a few days after that I called her and told her I was married.
Okay. But she claims, let me just finish. She just claims that you called her on the 24th, told her that you were going to Maine, you were visiting your family in Maine, and then you were going to Brussels.
Gloria, I'm not going to waste what little media time we have. And in this forum,
He's such a...
this is a short newscast. I don't know how much of these words you're going to use or not. But I'm not going to waste that by defending myself or talking about irrelevant things. It's better served if we talk about what happened and where's Lacey.
Okay.
So the facts are that we know that on Christmas Eve, I left the house here around 9:30. She was here in the home. Okay, that's a fact that has to get out there because it's been reported erroneously that I saw her leave the house. Okay, she was in the house. It's one thing we know. Second thing we know is that the dog was returned to our yard with its leash on at 10:30 by a neighbor.
Yeah, I'm in Paris, Amber. He's at the freaking Lacey Peterson, his missing wife's vigil. I'm in Paris. Happy New Year. Sorry, this is really slow. I think it's the weather or
Those are the two
something.
things we know about her disappearance. And hopefully those can help some people. There are things that we need to get out there are the tip lines, which is the Modesto Police tip line, 209-342-6166, and also 1-866-LACI info, LACI info. And that's a tip line for people who have talked to the police. Even if they talked to them, please call that tip line if you saw her that day, if you've seen her since, or if there's something you think is important in the neighborhood. We want to be very specific.
Okay.
The other big push that we need is LaceyPeterson.com. People can go there and print off the flyers and distribute those into every medical center and bus stop, high
He's
traffic
saying all of
area in the
this.
nation, because it could be the next
All of this, knowing his wife, where she is. How does a human being
flyer
do
that
this?
brings her home to our family.
And I
Their
know,
baby.
I know more than I know that you want to find Lacey, and the second thing you want to do is clear yourself from suspicion, correct? I mean, that is, you want the focus back on Lacey and not on you.
I want people looking for Lacey, because they're not doing that right now. And that's why I'm sitting down with you, in hopes that people will go, you know what?
Because Lacey was happy, it was Christmas Eve. Nothing, everything was fine. She was not going, she's 7 months pregnant. She's going to run away.
Think he had some involvement. If I don't think he had some involvement, that doesn't matter, because Lacey is what matters, and she's out there missing, and she needs to be home with her families. So I don't care to defend myself. I don't care what people think of me. As I've said, question my moral character if you want to, but look at your heart, think of Lacey, her picture, baby, and make the effort to bring her home. And that's a simple reality. That's a simple thing we need to do. Just, think whatever you want of me. As long as you're out there and you're comfortable with yourself, that you're doing what you need to be doing to find Lacey and bring her home.
I know that.
He's 51 years old now. 51. Still won't admit his guilt. He's been proven guilty.
Officials have told me that you won't take a lie detector test, that you've wavered back and forth on that. Why?
Well, let me say this about the investigation. I gave you 2 times earlier, 9:30 and 10:30 when the dog was returned here.
Won't take a lie detector
Investigators on both sides, law enforcement and private, have asked me not to comment anymore about times, about conversations I have with the police, about the possible polygraph, test if I've taken it or not, and other, things surrounding the investigation, so that it can be clear. So I'm simply not going to comment.
Of course she is.
About those things. I'm not going to comment if I have or have not taken a polygraph with the police.
The life insurance policy. Why take one out on Lacey?
That's a no. That is a big old no. He didn't take a lie detector test, because if you would have said, oh yeah, I took a lie detector test and I passed. That's exactly what you would have said, but you didn't say that because you wouldn't take a lie detector test. You little monotone. I love Lacey. Lacey loves me.
250,000.
We have life insurance policies in place that were established when we bought this home that you're in right now.
Since
2 years
2003.
There was no life insurance policy taken out recently, as has been reported in the national.
Liar. Major liar. That was one of the biggest motivators for him to unalive Lacey. A $250,000 policy was out on Lacey. He wanted to start a new life with his new Mrs. Amber Fry. You told her you weren't married, you didn't have kids, and you wanted that $250,000, and it covered unalivings as well. You made sure of that, didn't you, Scott? It makes me so mad that Lacey could still be here
Dubious
today.
source of alien information as well.
I know that a neighbor saw you removing things on the 24th. You mentioned this morning that it was umbrellas.
Yeah, we have some large umbrellas for the backyard pool area. Market umbrellas, I think, is the term for them.
Why would you store those in the winter?
It started to rain, so I was going to store them. Just like you asked, why would I store them? I was taking them from the pool to store.
Okay. Officials of mine have told me, sources have mentioned to me, that there were cement bags that were in the storage area, and apparently a few of them were empty.
Sure.
Explain that.
Well, I could take you out in the backyard and show you all the cement work and brickwork that we've done to this home. You'd find, cement bags around here.
So this was something that it was home remodeling.
He made 3 or 4 different anchors out of cement, and 3 of them were dropped in the ocean. And he didn't think Lacey would ever be found. But Lacey, the sea will give back and take what it wants. And unfortunately, some of her, arms and appendages were never found, but her torso and all of that was found. And that is how we know that he went to a hardware store and bought bags of concrete. He said that he was using them for like his driveway outside. He did use a little bit for the driveway outside after, I guess, he did this to Lacey.
Or what were you doing with the cement?
Yeah. And again, we're starting to go into areas
He has
that
lied his ass
investigators
off
have asked me not to comment about. So we should probably
this entire interview.
simply put the brakes on at that point.
Okay.
I don't mind commenting about the life insurance policy.
You're lying about there.
But I don't want to give specific times or other information that could jeopardize what they find is valuable information in finding Lacey.
Okay. I know that you mentioned on Good Morning America that it wouldn't surprise you if they found blood
Sure.
in your vehicles. Explain why.
Well, take a look at my hand. You can see, cuts here on my knuckles, numerous scars. I work on farms. I work with machinery. I know I cut my knuckle that day.
On what day?
On Christmas Eve.
Doing what?
Reaching in the toolbox of my truck and then into the pocket on the door. I cut open my knuckle and there's a blood stain on the door, on the driver's side door.
Sources of mine have mentioned that you also, when you came home on the 24th, did some laundry. You washed your clothes. Do you understand why that may look a little suspicious to the average person? Why would he come home and do his laundry?
Yes.
Well, the average guy that goes out in the ocean fishing gets some salt water on him, comes home wet.
Yeah, especially when they're
And so
burying
What are you
those
going to do
heavy.
with your wet saltwater clothes?
Yeah. So you
Anyways,
decided.
but now again, I probably shouldn't even mention that because of what they've asked me not to. So we should, we'll have to stop
wanted
with
to
that line of
mention
questioning.
One other thing to you, and that was, I talked to Mr. Rocha yesterday, Dennis Rocha.
Oh, great, good.
And he didn't have too many positive things to say.
Correct.
One of the things he said, and I'm quoting here, as far as you're concerned.
I am too,
It's
Princess.
lie after lie with Scott.
In some
Does
cases.
the guy ever tell the truth? Your
That's
reaction?
unfortunate that that's his thought of me.
He never.
Do you understand why he feels that way, though?
Never told the
As
truth.
far as the girlfriend is concerned, and
Well, certainly, is an inappropriate thing.
Y'all, I am furious about this right now. I'll be honest with you. I am furious about this case because Lacey Peterson and her unborn son, 25 years old, is no longer here. Her family no longer here, right? It is 2024. Connor would have been graduated by now, graduated high school. He was found up washed against a beach. And the Innocence Project is trying to get this man saying that they don't believe, in my opinion, from what I'm reading, that this man did anything. It is infuriating to me. Lacey and Connor and the family, they don't get that. They don't get their daughter. Connor never got to meet his mother in this life. I mean, I am livid on this one, to be quite honest with you. And he is sitting there lying his ass off over and over and over again. We know he did this. His motive was Amber, obviously, said he didn't have a wife and a $250,000 policy. You just go fishing that day, Scott? No. Mm-mm.
And I never lied
Disappointed.
to Dennis. I've never lied to Dennis.
Why?
I think I saw him last Lacey's disappearance, and prior to that, it was a year before that Lacey and I never saw him. That's her father, Dennis.
Right. And I have to ask you,
Sure.
are you in any way connected to Lacey's disappearance?
I had nothing to do with Lacey's disappearance.
Let him look at her in the eye. Did he get a new trial? No, they was trying for a new trial last year, I believe, or the year before last. That was his last appeal. But now the Innocence Project is, trying to test a van that they say that someone may have robbed, that Lacey may have seen these guys robbed next door, and that's the reason they unalived her while she was pregnant. That has nothing, in my opinion, whatsoever to do with it. You can't get past everything in this interview alone that we knowed he lied about.
And again, even if people out there question that, if they would just look at their hearts and make the effort to bring her home to her family, I don't care what you think of me.
Because someone out there
knows. Yes, someone out there knows. And you can be the key to finding them by putting out that, next
You're
flyer.
looking at the camera.
Well, it's a plea to the audience. That's why we're doing this.
Go ahead. I mean, if you want to make a statement to anybody who out
well, that is. I mean, look in your hearts and know that you've done what you can.
Look at him. Look at him. Look in your hearts. How about you get one, Scott?
And to bring Lacey home. And if you haven't, please do it. And that's going to LaceyPeterson.com and printing out that flyer and putting it in every medical building, on your car, and bus stations. Or use the tip lines if you have any information. That's what's going to bring her home. And think what you want of me. But in your hearts you should be helping Lacey.
I know that.
You shouldn't harm her.
Okay, I just want to ask you
Gloria.
one last thing, if that's okay, about Lacey, because I know that you get really choked up when you talk about it. Tell me what you love about Lacey.
God, what? No. I think you can sum it up pretty easily with looking at her photograph. A photograph for a big smile in the press.
Because you guys met in college, or
yeah.
And tell me what connected you two right away. I know she's got a beautiful smile, but what linked you guys?
I don't know, just
should have been an actor.
Being able to complete each other. I think that's it. But I mean, you asked how well, and all you have to do is look at that picture, and you know that she's a bright one, a bright light in a lot of people's lives. So
You think she's still alive?
she is.
You're sure that?
Yes. Lacey's still alive. She's
Oh,
out there and someone's holding her. And these are critical
it's hollow.
days
It's
that we
just
have
hollow.
left until the due date of February 16th. And we just need all of your help.
You haven't said anything about your baby.
That's entirely too difficult to speak about.
Do you go into the baby's room?
No, that door's closed.
How long will it remain closed?
Until there's a little guy in there. Thank you.
It's been almost 2 decades
Until-
since a pregnant Lacey Peterson would
until there is a little guy in there, not a tear, just absolutely fake as crap. Now, let me show you about what the Innocent Project is doing. Here's Gloria Allred.
That is Gloria Allred, because she is really connected to this case. She's a nice person as well. She represented Peterson's girlfriend, Amber Fry, during that trial back in 2004. She also represents Ann Bird, who is Scott Peterson's sister, who believes that Scott is guilty. Gloria, thank you. Look at us. Twice in 1 week we get together. So big question. You and I are very familiar with Barry Scheck. We're very familiar with the movement that he started across this country of innocence projects in every state. And now we have the Los Angeles.
Listen, the Innocence Project, it's good for those that are innocent, that doesn't have mounting evidence of a bunch of evidence that points toward the person that actually did it. The ones who are the dirty cops trying to set people up like that. Be awesome. No, you're not blocked. But this is a high profile case, and Scott Peterson is not innocent. It is clear.
Angeles-based Innocent Project deciding it's going to take on the case of Scott Peterson. And you and I both know well they do not take cases easily. What does this make you think about when it comes to the ultimate resolution of Scott Peterson's guilt or innocence?
Well, as you have correctly pointed out, Scott Peterson was convicted. He was sentenced to death. And of course, the prosecution had proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Scott also appealed. He lost that appeal. He then went to the California Supreme Court,
Are they doing this for some publicity, in my opinion, or something?
also did not reverse his sentence, did not grant a new trial. They did set aside the death sentence that had been recommended by the jury and imposed by the judge. But that was not on the merits of the case. That was for a technical reason having to do with jury selection. Now comes the involvement of the Los Angeles Innocence Project. My feeling about it is
Remember, this is the young Scott Peterson. Remember, he changed his hair and everything. He was blonde for a little bit. Now Scott Peterson is
he has
51,
every right to
1 years
exhaust
old.
any legal avenue open to him, and that he should have the right to DNA testing of those objects and any other appropriate, evidence that could be presented to prove actual innocence. He has a big mountain to climb. He is fortunate that he is still alive today, while unfortunately his victims, his pregnant wife Lacey and his unborn child, are no longer alive.
Yeah.
But all I can say is
it going to make a heap of difference?
I'm a civil rights lawyer
Yeah,
as well as a victims' rights lawyer. So let them have the testing and we'll see what the results are.
Hopefully it's just going to prove further that Scott Peterson is a liar.
And I'm so curious about how this is all going to play out. But I do know that you had a chance to connect with your client Amber Frey today. Did she have any reaction to this?
Yeah, I've connected both with Amber and with Ann today, and neither of them wish to do an interview at this time.
I wonder what Amber Frey is doing these days. Thank you, 1-800. I wonder what Amber Frey is doing these days. I wonder if she's married, if she has kids. Maybe I should research that and see. You remember the famous Amber Frey when she came out and there was cameras everywhere and she stood in front of that podium and she blasted Scott Peterson and said, he lied to me. He told me he wasn't married, that he had no kids, that we were going to live happily ever after. She's married.
And neither of them want to express an opinion at this time. This is really shocking. And so they really have to think about it. And by the way, Ann Bird was also my client during the trial.
This is Amber, right? And this is Gloria Allred back in 2002, 2003.
We kept that secret except from the prosecution, and they were going to have her testify in the rebuttal. But then after the defense put on their case, they decided it wasn't necessary to have a rebuttal. So she never ended up testifying. But, all I can say is they were both very brave. Lacey recorded all of those calls. You played one of them with Scott. And that was at the request of the police. And she risked her life to be able to secretly do that because she had no police protection. She had no security.
Yeah, she wore a wire on him. She wore a wire. She certainly did wear a wire.
She was living alone.
Look at these cases. Remember Scott Peterson, obviously beautiful, very attractive couple, both of them. And then she, like I said, attractive couple. She was pregnant. It's at Christmas time. But there's always a woman on the side, right? Chris Watts, right? Chris and his family, obviously attractive family. She's pregnant, right? There you are again. Another woman on the side. It's always, usually, not always, but it's usually someone on the side. And these men, they get caught up in they just don't think, I guess. They couldn't have think. These are just the most evil of evil. Amber got pissed like Monica. Yeah. Now, what is it that what was her name? What was Chris's girlfriend? There was Shannon, but that was his wife. But then there was, I forget her name. I can't think of her name off by heart. But she, I don't know. I always thought she was sketchy. Nicole. Yes, Nicole. Thank you. She just always seemed sketchy to me.
While she recorded many calls, many of which were played as evidence during the trial. And it turned out that, we were concerned about her safety. But when Scott Peterson was ultimately arrested, as he was on his way to Mexico, when the police finally found him and examined his van, he did have a map.
He had a map. He had several $1,000s in cash. He was on his way to Mexico, and he had about 5 tablets of Viagra.
To
Yeah.
Amber's home, or rather her
Well,
workplace. He had ropes.
this is
and
the
all that.
mountain. These are the things you're saying. This is the mountain that Scott Peterson has to climb. So it will be fascinating to see what the Innocence Project is able to sort of do with what they have. Gloria, that means that I'm going to be calling you again. So I appreciate you doing the second interview in a week. Thank
Anytime
you
for Ashley. She's the one person that I don't know how to say no to. So anyway.
Oh, I love you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
I
right, thank
appreciate
you.
that. Okay,
All
Gloria
right.
Allred joining us live
Bye-bye.
again tonight. So thank you for watching.
There we go. So it's crazy. It's craziness. Crimes. Yes, Allie has unfortunately passed. Let me show you a little bit about that. I'll show you the. Why is that not pulling up? There we go. So Casey Mulvaney, Allison Harris, fly high, my big sister, I love you, and we're all going to miss you. You were loved a lot by everyone. It is too soon for you to go. I love you and miss you. Will be in my heart. Feeling sad. People are giving their condolences. Just very, very sad. Here's Casey. She posted this little 2 hours ago. Do you believe loved ones can pass, who pass can visit you? Be the reason someone smiles today or the reason they drink, whatever works. Eat, sleep, weed, repeat. It's just really sad that really, I guess she's got her profile private. Yeah, they got their profile private, but it's just really sad. How old was Allie? 36. Breeze. Allie is a woman that is not related to the Scott Peterson case. I want to make sure that's clear. This is a woman from the Summer Wells case. This is Hunter, who was a minor at the time, a 15-year-old boy at the time, on June 15, 2021, who Summer Wells, the little girl that was missing, still missing, and Candace Wells, they were all at the swimming hole on June 15, 2021. He was dropped off, and then they went back home, and then she went missing. So this is one of the last people that ever saw Summer's mother. So if you can believe him, says his caseworker was looking into it. He didn't say if Hunter wanted to go either. Go where? Yes, Susan. It is not true that Andrew has not passed. I don't know. I don't know where. Is PG in here? PG, Smiley, anyone? If y'all want to come up, you're welcome to. If anyone knows anything, you're welcome to come up. Oh, into the military. That would be the best place for Hunter to go if he can get in there. That would be the best place. It would straighten him up. He would get he could have a good life. All of that. 1 second. Check something. Okay. All right. It would help teach him structure and give him a possible career path. Absolutely. Absolutely. They said Allie may have even passed as early as a couple days ago. I was going to say a couple months. I don't know why that. A couple days ago, he would have to pass a physical in boot camp. Of course. Yeah. Barb, I don't think they would take Andrew the army. I think oh, that I thought I dropped a PG. Can someone recopy that? She may not be able to see my link. It's weird. Can a mod copy that link and repost it for PG? She's going to try to come up, I think. Is there an obituary? Good question. Yeah, I'm extremely disappointed in Andrew. I'm extremely disappointed in H too, but I personally have more compassion for H because he's 17. Did you get my email about Jordan Willis in Kansas City? No, I did not. I don't think I did. Let me check. Oh, that is the guy that is the Jordan Willis case. That is the three that died in the backyard, right? I'm getting ready to cover that case, by the way. Don't know when she passed. They posted on their social media today, but that's all I know. Someone drop that link for PG. It's up to the family to put it. The funeral home usually does it, but the we like when I worked at a funeral home, we did the obituaries, but if someone is cremating her and it's working a little bit differently, then I don't know. So I told Andrew that his son needs a father figure with guidance to teach him respect, responsible, not a friend. It's sad because it should not have to come to this for Hunter's father to realize. Yes, yeah, I agree. I've never seen anything like it. Anything. I don't know how. He talked about his son that way, and his talked about Allie that way. When my son passed, cremated, we had to call a local paper and write the obituary. Yeah. Yeah. So she may not have it. I don't guess PG's going to come up. So, hey, Chris, good to see you. Sheila, thank you. I don't know if they've already made arrangements. So, Toaster Oven went there a few days ago and, told him that the cremation and stuff was already taken care of. So, hopefully, that is a huge blessing to have the whether you agree with the cremation or not, it's a huge blessing to have that because it's a big expense, especially if you have no money to do it on to begin with. So, anywho, um, did we forget a certain creator said about H and blamed him and not Andrew? I think she's grabbing the link. Mm. All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump off. They aren't using that one. Oh, they're not? Okay. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Josh is going to go live, I think, here shortly. So, love you all. Appreciate you. We'll see you later. Stay warm. I might be back here in a little bit on my other channel. We'll have to see. I was bored. So, I wanted to say hi to you guys and cover this. It made me so mad about the Peterson, Scott Peterson. Love you guys. Bye.